To access all full body language breakdown videos in entirety, hours upon hours, click the link in the description to take you through to the Patreon. Thanks. Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Alright people, moving onwards with our astute observations of the relationships between human beings. As we do, we're continuing on with our Blind Dating a Famous Comedian series. If you're joining me just now, hold on to the end. I bet you learned something you've never known before. With that being said, comment section, description of the video, I'll have a link to the playlist so you can go from the top. Right, we're moving on to the next question. Let go.
Really going to the gym. You already bagged her, you know, like right? You already have them. What is something that everyone thinks is romantic that you guys find cringe?
What is it that everybody finds romantic that you find cringe? Okay. Connection with the guy at the end of the queue as she finalizes that. My guy here, weighing somebody up left hand side. Maybe looking in the same direction, in all honesty. I think he's looking at the person who's number 3. I think she's looking at number 4. But there's potential they're looking at the same person if by any chance that person is moving. Because moving attracts attention. So when I'm just stone still and like this, I might lose attention off of the general public more so if I'm a little more expansive and illustrative and so forth, right? So when a woman goes and exposes her wrists and flicks her hair and does so forth, that movement attracts attention. So you have to inquire why. Well, don't inquire with herself in a verbal sense. Don't just be like, hello, why did you do that? But inquire as to why she's showcasing these particular areas and whether it's conscious. She might, you know, manufacture it in a performative manner, or it might be on a subconscious basis to say, I want to show you this. My biology wants to show you this for whichever reason.
I would say...
So yeah, have a look at that. She looked over. She sort of non-verbally inquired with him first for a response from him first, yeah?
Matching tattoos or getting someone's name tattooed too early, you know?
Put some respect on that. That's a grown-up response. Nothing wrong with that. He's not trying to be quirky, not trying to be funny. That's nothing offensive. See how he highlighted and reclarified and redefined his initial statement by saying too soon? Playing it nice and safe. Ain't that the truth?
You never know where the relationship is going to end up. That's my thing.
Not committed, okay.
Not committed, that's okay. Tries to bury him. Tries to clown him. Tries to one-up him. That's insane. That's insane. Look at that. Look at that. Bruh! Pay attention. He didn't like that. And you know what? He reacted in the right way. He reacted, well, you know, he could have not taken the bait a little better, but pay attention to this.
Where the relationship is going to end up.
He's cool, calm, confident, puts a good foot forward.
That's my thing.
Not committed.
This guy tries bury him, tries clown him, tries to sun him, right? This isn't a joke. This is competition here.
Okay.
And you can tell because look at the expression of this guy. Watch. Get a load of this guy. Get a load of this guy. Don't even look at him. Points at him with the finger. The finger represents the phallus, right? Represents the willy, all right? Don't get it twisted. Or you could consider it a spear if you want to, you know, be a little more friendly with it. Consider it a sword, right? Don't point, it's rude. He points. Don't point, it's rude. That's what you get told. He points. I don't need to respond verbally. And this guy with the suit and tie, he's looking straight over, no smile, no jokes being cracked to see the reaction he's going to get. This is the man checking out the pecking order. This is a great example of how in like learning about dating psychology and so forth, like this pickup artistry and whatnot, given that you are fascinated by that side of things, they talk about what are considered shit tests, right? Completely ignoring, out of ignorance and naivety, I would assume, the fact that men test men as well. And this is an example of such. He made a statement, he looked straight at the guy to see how he responded. All right, have I got an emotional reaction out of him? Have I got him around my finger? Can I control him? Can I dominate him? This is what's happening right here. This guy at the end who had a great, honest statement. He showcased a degree of emotion, anger, but it's better than him laughing and hee-hee and ha-haing and elevating the status of what he said in submittance. He's not submitted to him, all right? He doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. Of course, this is pseudoscience. Take it with a grain of salt, all right? I'm not saying I can read minds, all right? But it is what it is. He disconnects. He looks to the side. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to be involved in you. Don't look at me. He's gazing at him, staring him down, right? Out of all of the dudes, this guy's my favorite. The guy who just spoke. Not the guy who took the piss, but the guy who just spoke. I like this guy the most. I think he's the most respectable, both aesthetically speaking and the way he puts himself forward. He's not been fantastic, incredible, but who is, right? I wouldn't be, right? There's a counterbalance to everything. But as far as he's put himself forward like a grown man, you know? Yeah. Disconnects, right? Looks off to the presenters.
You know what really fucking pisses me off? That
this guy comes with the theatrics. Look at how tight he's gripping his sweater here. Left-hand side still cradling himself. Mr. Nice Guy, full on smiling. He's not taken that smile off of his face since the start of the program. If you ever wanted to know what Mr. Nice Guy is, it's this guy here with the headband. That's Mr. Nice Guy, all right? That's the virgin, and he has to be happy-go-lucky, he has to smile, he has to learn about star signs because he's told that's how he's going to get laid. That's Mr. Nice Guy right there, okay? Let's go.
everything's so.
But this guy's theatrical, this guy in the middle. You can be bold, audacious, you can come forth with your canned lines and whatnot, but the way you're gripping up to the degree where you're scrunching your sweater, that completely counteracts how you're perceived or what the words are going to be, you know, translated as once they come out of your mouth. Your body represents somebody who's in incredible distress right now. All right? It is what it is.
It really fucking pisses me off that everything's.
And of course, you know, harsh language and language, half of your sentence being expletives is hilarity, right? You just come across as cheap. You come across as cheap.
So romantic. Oh, I'm gonna propose on the Jumbotron at a baseball game. Oh.
And here we go again, passive aggression. All right, there's an angry spirit that exists within this man. There's some trauma, I would assume. Because look, each one of his examples or responses is an indirect attack to something or other. It's an attack. Pay attention.
Everything's so romantic. Oh, I'm gonna propose on the Jumbotron at a baseball game. Oh, I'm gonna propose on the Jumbotron at a football game. First off, okay, no one cares, right? Nobody cares about that.
Pay attention. He says nobody cares whilst emotionally reactive to that particular circumstance. This is overcompensation. I don't care, even though this is my example and what's on my mind and the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't care. Nobody cares. All right. This interlinks with the psychology of fans. What's a fan? A fan is a fanatic, right? Let's say it's an artist of any sort. Let's say it's a content creator. Let's say it's a celebrity. Anyone whom is in the public eye to whichever extent. Okay? These haters manifest. As always, it's a duality. You can't have fans without haters, right? You can't evoke one emotion without evoking others. So these people manifest within comment sections and, you know, work behind the scenes. Envy's been stirred up. Jealousy's been stirred up. And they'll leave hateful comments, but they'll consume more of the content. They'll pay more attention to that person than your general person who actually likes that person. It's overcompensation. You detest, you know, you protest too much. You're trying to prove to yourself Anyway, you know exactly where I'm coming from. Pay attention to his words once again.
First off, okay, no one cares.
First off, no one cares, he says, whilst crying about it, okay?
Right? Nobody cares about that, right? You're spreading estrogen throughout the state.
You're spreading estrogen. This is crazy. Anybody know about toxic masculinity, people? Why is estrogen a problem when it comes to this? Anybody know about toxic masculinity, you know?
Get the tee up, you know, we're at a sporting...
Get the tee up, he says. All right. Guys on either side questioning what he's saying. If you look at how I've randomly frozen this was a completely random freeze here. Does this look like a person who's having a good time and dating on a game show? Or does this look like a man who is distressed, in negative emotion, in some form of... What's the term I'm looking for? I can't grasp onto the term I'm looking for, but he's in the middle of some sort of dealings. But who is he dealing with? An imaginary character or himself? Is he fighting with himself right now? What would you say? I did a video a long while back, and it was entitled "Take a Screenshot, Take a Photo." Right? And it spoke of when you're just dealing with random people in the street and you see a particular emotion or gesture manifest and it comes and goes. I said, imagine if somebody took a photo of that person at that particular time. What would it show? If it was that particular moment in time, that minute, tiny moment that came and went, never to appear again, what did that moment represent? Okay? What does this represent to you? Is this guy having a lot of fun or is he stressing? Why is he stressing? This emotional, overt projection needs to be questioned.
Also, what if your team loses? How are you supposed to trust the marriage if your whole engagement starts on a loss?
And obviously this guy's going to a lot of deep thought about this. Anger, aggression. This is red flag central right here. This is crazy. This is crazy. And do you know what the thing is? I'm not even going to comment about it. But I'm going to say the next person, yeah? If a person is just so emotionally reactive and volatile and consistently expressive, this aggressive energy, they're the softest people going. They're not the people they portray, trust me. They're the least scary people on planet Earth. But look at the anger. Look at the anger. Is this not insane? We're talking about estrogen and we're talking about high T and stuff like that. Which, I mean, emotional instability and aggressive impulse is correlated with testosterone. But as far as, you know, the whole lack of self-control and expulsion of emotion, full stop, that is rooted into the realm of the feminine, right? We can't have conversation that isn't so aggressively explicit in nature.
How are you supposed to trust the marriage if your whole engagement starts on a loss? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Have any of you guys done a big grand gesture in a relationship?
Pay attention. Have any of you made a big grand gesture in a relationship? Good question. Let's find out.
On my story.
We've got a genital blocking behavior here. Okay. Not so much different from crossing the arms. It just another sensitive area upon the anterior chain we see here.
Have any of you guys done a big grand gesture in a relationship?
Posted her on my story.
Oh my God, no.
He says posted her on my story. Everybody has a laugh. Low key, a lot of men won't do it. Low key, a lot of men won't do it. You know, it is a laugh. It is a hoot and a holler. But showcasing ownership is... These dudes might just take it for granted. Right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? That's funny because you're supposed to post her everywhere. You're supposed to be joined at the hip with her if you're in a relationship. Isn't that funny? Bruh, you know what I mean? Let me tell you something. Posting someone on your story is a bold situation because you're directly telling the world that you are in connection with that person. And me personally, when it intercorrelates with how I say don't mix your misses with your business and your friendship and so forth, I do honestly mean that. So to the same extent, I would say like posting her and making her available and creating a space of vulnerability within your relationship by doing so and feeling that you need to do so, or just naively showing her off to the world, is detrimental. It's detrimental. There needs to be privacy for your situation to work unless you're both profiting off of it. Do you see? And when I talk about profit, I'm talking about business. Like, what more needs to be said, you know?
Too much, too much, too much.
All right, boys, we're at the second deliberation.
Right, we're at the second deliberation. Let's find out. But what does she mean by that? Too much, she says.
Oh my God, not too much, too much, too much.
She says too much. Right, let's keep on going. See you there. Thank you for watching. You can watch all body language breakdown videos, hours on hours of content, including the game I can't give here, via the Patreon. The link is in the description.